is it backwards for me? Nick.
What's going on?
How are you?
Not bad. You?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
Well, we need to catch up about that land. I don't want to do it here, but we'll catch up about it.
Okay.
You drove up there, right?
Actually, I have a friend that lives right there, and I asked her if she knew the area, and she drove by it for me and took those pictures.
Oh, that's cool. That's great.
So,
We call that leverage.
yeah, well, should I not have done that? I didn't ask her to take the pictures. She just did it.
No. I'm saying we call that leverage. That's called, no, it's smart. You didn't have to drive your ass up there.
Yeah, when I was talking to you on the phone, I didn't realize it was in Homosassa. When I went and looked at it, I was like, fuck, that's like an hour and a half away.
It's a long way. So
yeah, so.
It's all good. We'll catch up about it. I need to make a decision, and I just feel like I'm just waiting for somebody else, but I feel like we should just put together some terms, like whatever the price is going to be, 1 year contract. And, I'm not doing 3%. We're going to do $5,000 or something, and we'll split that with the other agent. And if he wants to do it, great. And if he doesn't want to do it, then that's fine. I'm just not gonna, that would be the only things that would motivate me to actually work on it a little bit and getting you a bit of experience. But I'm not, anyway, I'm not going to do it for $900. So
yeah.
Nope.
Did
not worth it.
Did he say anything about how much he wanted for it? I don't know. That wasn't in the stuff you sent me.
I feel like his brother-in-law told me something about like $25,000. Like he's ready to unload it.
Okay.
He's not going to do anything with it. So that's what I'm saying. Like it might be worth it because like I just listed 8 acres out in Mulberry, and the guy who sold it, we just closed on it on Friday, and it was 8 acres and it's never been developed, vacant land, and the guy inherited it for nothing, right? It's been listed before. So I took it at 275, and then I told him right up front, I said, we're going to drop the price to 250 if we're not happy with, all this stuff. He's just going to sell it. That, this guy out in Mulberry was just going to sell the land. It's all kind of profit. Like he's not emotionally attached to it. That's why I think this guy is, right? Mm-hmm. He has some cost into it, but he's not going to develop it. He's not going to do anything. And so whether it sells for $40,000 or $10,000, like I think he just wants out, right?
Okay.
That's my feeling, and that's why I'd be willing to work on it. So here's Adriana. What's up, Adriana? How we doing? You driving, Adriana? All right. So what I was going to talk about today, and what I want to talk about now, has kind of changed. What's she doing? Mentorship. She's commented on something on Workplace. I just talked to my mentor, AJ, and I think he just like totally changed my mindset about something. What's she doing? Hello, Adriana?
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Sorry, it was like connected to my car and I had to like untake it off and I don't even know what was going on.
Well, I
Technology.
saw you were on the call, but then you also commented on something on Workplace.
Oh, because Melissa was trying to find the link. So I just tagged her in it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Multitasking. Okay.
Yep.
Well, cool. Well, today I'm happy to talk about what you guys want to talk about. I was going to talk about lead sources, and it seems to me like I always kind of go back to my own examples in my own business. That seems at least gives you an idea of how I make decisions and all that stuff. So I'm happy to talk about what you want to talk about. But I started out, I just had an hour-long phone call with my mentor, AJ Maida. He's an EXP. He hasn't sold real estate probably in over 2-3 years, but he knows his stuff and he's super business savvy. So I want to reach out to him because I want to hire a virtual assistant to run my online lead generation communication. So I kind of modeled it out. I'd basically be moving. I'd get off I've been subscribing to expired and withdrawn and for sale by owner data for years and years and years and years. And I've always talked about canceling it, but I can never justify it, right? Because I always close stuff off of it. But I think I'm ready to do it. There's not that many expireds. I don't really call them every day. I already have a database of old expireds that I'm not going to lose. So anyway, so I kind of made this model yesterday where I was going to hire a VA, and a VA in the Philippines, a virtual assistant. So this would cost me about $300 a month. I would then get them trained so that they knew how to use KV Core. They could do training videos. I purchased a lead system. Who's this? Hello, iPhone. So I purchased a lead system that was from a company that they built some Facebook ads. Then they have a texting CRM to engage people, and they're running on Facebook. Maybe you've even seen them if you're bred in Bellrico. They're very generic. They're nothing crazy. No, my picture's not even on them. You're just getting engagement. So, and basically the idea is I suck at converting online leads. Okay. I suck at it. Or another way to say it is I'm not that interested in it. Okay. So online leads account for 3% of my business this year because I closed one deal, 0% of my business in 2019, 7% with 2 deals in 2018, 0% in 2017, 3% in 2016, that was 1 deal, and 3% in 2015. So if I close, so 2 deals is the maximum number of deals I've closed from online lead generation. So I suck at it. And, but I did make this investment in this company in the spring or summer, and they built some Facebook ads for me. And then there's a texting platform. Now that platform is about $93 a month. It was free for 90 days, and then you can decide to keep it. I haven't turned it off. Okay. So I said, AJ, I know that you have a VA that's working for you, right? A gentleman that's in the Philippines, connected to the internet, knows English, has some experience with, Word and some marketing and all this stuff, right? And I even put out a post yesterday on a website that he recommended, and I posted an ad. And so I started formulating what I want this VA to do, right? I want them to start managing my CRM. I want them to get into my Facebook lead texting CRM and start replying to people, because I do have people that are replying to me. And if it's 7:30 at night on a Saturday, I'm not responding to them. Honestly, I think I got this iPhone about a month and a half or 2 months ago, and I haven't even logged in. Their app is called High Level. I don't even have it on logged in on my new phone. So this is how committed I am to this platform, that I'm spending $250 a month on Facebook ads. I had an initial investment in it, and I'm not really doing crap with it. So I respond when I want to respond. It sucks. I suck at converting online leads. Okay. So here's my idea, right? So I say, AJ, tell me about a VA, blah, blah. So his initial reaction was, he said, well, first of all, if you manage to do this, you'll be kind of the outlier, because virtual assistants are notoriously really bad at converting clients. And I said, well, I'm not going to have them on the phone. This is going to be via text and email. And he said, yeah, I know they're really bad at it. Right. Okay, fine. And there's some other things I'd like them to do though. So I was not deterred by that. And then we started talking a little bit more about my business. He asked me about some of my numbers and all those things. And because I did make a model for this, and my model is this, right? Is to basically move $300 of my monthly spend into this VA. I'm already spending the money on Facebook. I'm willing to spend a little bit more if it gets me results. So my 12-month total spend between the CRM and MailChimp and all the stuff is about $8,000 for the year. Okay. My break-even point for that, in order to make my money back, is I'd have to sell $475,000 worth of real estate in order to break even. In order to make $8,000, that's after my 20% split, I'd have to sell 475,000, which equates to 1.6 sales, because my average sales price this year was 320,000, but I'm going to lower it because these are online leads. So let's say 285. Okay. I can share the screen if you want. Let's do that, because I'm going through a bunch of numbers now, and I know Laura's driving. Can you guys see this screen? Nick?
Yeah, I could see it.
Okay. All right. So just to recap, I
can always look at it later.
Yep. I want to spend $8,000. My break-even point to make my money back, if I hire this VA, is $475,000 in sales, and that's 1.6 sales. So if I do 2 sales off of this, I'm in the green, right? I'm in the black, I should say, right? Not in the red. I'm in the black. If I want my goal, so say I sold 7 homes off of this system, and I'm at $2 million in sales. GCI for that is $52,867. If I subtract the $8,000, my gross revenue after expenses is $44,731. Okay, cool. This was my plan. Okay, who has questions about this plan? Like, who thinks this is a good idea? This is a bad idea. Seems right. I'm missing something. Anybody have any input into this?
Well, based off, you said it only accounts varying from 3 to 7% of your business. It seems like you're taking out, with Mojo and all that, a big source of your business if you're doing you're canceling one for the other, right?
Okay, let's go back.
What you're planning on doing?
Okay, let's go back. Good question. So expired withdrawn data accounted for 20% of my business this year. Okay. So that was 6 deals this year. Okay. Now, last year, 30%, 25, 35. I'm sorry, I'm just going backwards in time. 34 and 35. So historically, when I was still starting out in Florida, 35% of my business. Now that drove some other things, but anyway. But okay, so Nick's argument is if you remove the data, you're going to lose 20% of your business. That's not a bad argument. I like that argument. However, Nick, I went through all my expireds for this past year, and only one of them was expired in the last 12 months, was recently expired. So not only am I not calling the new expireds, there aren't that many of them. I don't call FSBOs. I do call my database expireds and withdrawns, the people that are on my calendar. I also have lists in Mojo that I can filter through that are anywhere from, a year old to 5 years old, and they're expired or withdrawn. So I can still work those lists. So good argument, but and here's the other thing, right? Because Vulcan 7 cost me $270 a month. Okay. So, and I think my thought process on this switched. I saw Colton Lindsay say something about Mojo's data has gotten better recently. Vulcan 7 used to be the bee's knees, right? It comes with email, cell phones, all that stuff. So I was willing to pay a premium for it to essentially, after you add in sign calls, it was like 50% of my business. Okay. So now if I want to get data, I could still get that from Mojo on a month-to-month basis for $50 a month. Okay. Sounds like a no-brainer. Okay. So only one of my sales came from recent expireds. It was actually a horrible experience. I won't even launch into that. So 5 of my expired sales came from old expireds, people that I'm mailing to, people I stay in touch with for years, people are on my calendar, follow up with them. Okay. Does that answer your question?
It does. What I'm gathering is the first 3 years you were really heavy into doing that, and then now that's correlating into probably a big chunk of those 16 referral sales. So, and it kind of seems like you don't really call as much anymore. So
I don't really call as much anymore, and that's true. And there used to be, expireds that we get now, it's like nothing. There's nothing out there. Like, so I really, if you look at the amount of data I'm getting for the dollars, their prices have gone up a little bit with Vulcan 7, but the amount of data they're delivering, it's not their fault. It's just the market, but the amount of data they're delivering is way down. Right. So now if you were to still look at what I paid versus what I got back, you could still make an argument there, that I should keep it. But let's just say I want to move these marketing dollars into something else. Okay. So good question, Nick, but I feel like I've answered that, and you're not wrong, but I have thought it through. Okay. So what was I going to say next? 20%. I suck at internet lead generation, and I'd like to get better at that. 3%. Okay. So I go through this. So then AJ says to me, he goes, okay. So we go through, and then look, I set up these little spreadsheets, and I can say, okay, what if I close 10 deals? Oh, that's $67,000 in my pocket. Okay, what if I close 4 deals from it? Oh, that's only $22,000 in my pocket. Okay. But I'm just using 7. I think 7's pretty reasonable. All that stuff. So AJ asked me some questions, and he said, well, first of all, he had that argument that the VA is not going to be that good at converting these clients, even from text. Okay. And putting them on drip campaigns and all that stuff. Okay. So, and then he said, why do you want to invest this money into online lead generation so that you can work with buyers who are going to be at a lower price point than your current average price point? And all of this is just to put $40,000 in your pocket? Like perspective bomb right there. He goes, why don't you go buy $10, take $300 and buy 30 $10 gift cards at the beginning of the month, and then make it your job to send out 30 Starbucks gift cards to the people who know you, like you, and trust you, your circle of influence, your past clients, their friends and family, do a birthday thing, whatever it is. And then, so I was like, yeah, okay, that's cool. I still feel like I've invested in the system, and I feel like I've kind of wasted my time and money. And so he said, well, that's sunk cost. He's like, you don't get that back. You don't get that sunk cost back, but what you can do is you can kind of turn off the faucet and invest in the people, that 70% that's actually bringing you the business. Invest back in that, and you're going to stay more local. You're going to work with people that know you, like you, trust you. You're not going to have to compete on commission, or you're not going to have to compete with other agents. So, and then we started talking about farming. So he said, are you farming your neighborhood? I said, well, I am. I'm doing an event in my neighborhood. I did just send out a postcard to my neighborhood because I had a sale, but I'm not in the sense farming it. Does everybody know what farming is? Basically, you're doing a consistent, typically it's a mailer, sometimes it's door knocking, sometimes it's door hangers, sometimes it's can be coupled with circle prospecting in the neighborhood. So he said, are you farming your neighborhood? And I said, well, no, I'm not farming it, but I am active and I'm doing some things and we know people and all that stuff. And so he said, well, why don't you farm your neighborhood? Because then all your business is right outside your door. And he did this kind of quick conversion. So he said, he asked me how many homes, right? So, okay, 425 homes in Twin Lakes. Okay. So, so first he goes, okay, 10% turnover. That's 40, call that 42 listings a year. And I pushed back. I said, no, our neighborhood doesn't turn over like that. Our neighborhood, nobody ever moves out. So 425. Okay. So he said, cut it in half, 5%. That's 21 listings a year. All those people buy a home. So you're talking about 42. You're talking about 42 transactions. Does everybody understand how I got there?
If you work both sides.
If you work both sides, buy, sell, right? They're going to sell a house. Now, maybe they move out of state. Okay, cool. But maybe those people that move out of state are counteracted by referrals of people who are not selling homes. Does that make sense? My sister's moving into the area. She's not moving to Twin Lakes. She's just moving to Tampa. And I've been getting your postcards and blah, blah, blah. So whatever. So he said by farming alone, you should be able to take 25% of the farm. I know it's a long-term process. It's 12 months minimum, 18 months till you see return. So 42 transactions, 25%. So that's 10 deals, 10 and a half deals of people who live in Valrico, live in my neighborhood. That's 5 listings and 5 sales. So that's what he said. He said, why are you going to train a VA, mail and email to people and text people that are strangers that don't know you, when you could just be investing in your own neighborhood for that same $300, investing in your own sphere? Like, and I just think it was a big moment for me, because I mean, yesterday for $68 I got on this VA website that he had suggested, AJ had suggested, and I bought a month or whatever post where I can look for a job, a VA position. I made a post, and now I've got 3 or 4 people that have emailed me back that are interested in talking to me about it. So I didn't just put my toe in the water with this idea. I was like ready to hit go. I've already emailed Vulcan 7 and said, I'm not doing it over again. I'm about to make a hire and all this stuff. So anyway, so AJ kind of shifted my mindset on that. And he's right. I mean, he's totally right. He's totally right. And I think it's natural for us to try to do what other people are doing and feel like we're missing out. If I'm not converting Facebook leads, I'm just not growing. If I'm not converting online leads, Zillow accounts, realtor.com, Google AdWords, whatever, I'm just not growing. There's a way to grow without doing that. I need to know what's worked for me. I need to stay tight within work where I want to work, things like that. So that's what I was going to talk about. I was going to tell you about how I was going to go hire a VA and I was going to train them and they were going to do all this different stuff for me and start working on these online leads. But now I guess I'm going to start farming and spend it on community events, farming, things like that. So anyway, that's how I make decisions. Here's my lead sources that I wrote down. Also, for those of you that are interested in taking advantage of revenue share, did Adriana have to leave? Adriana and I have talked about that before. AJ is going to join us in January. He's making quite a bit of money doing that. And this is going to sound totally weird to you guys. And I know me and AJ are having a totally different conversation, but his argument to me every time we talk is like, stop trying to sell more homes. Stop it. It's not doing anything, right? Stop trying to spend $10,000 to make $40,000. He thinks I should be focusing on building my EXP downline because that is revenue that is reoccurring, passive, pays me forever, builds itself, all this stuff. And when you hear him talk, you'll understand a little bit more of that. And so we talked about some of the conversations that he has on a daily basis with agents, big teams, agents, brokers all over the US, all over the world. And I said, well, nobody's going to come to EXP if they can't grow their sales business, right? And he said, no. He said, the people who really see EXP are the ones that want to sell less homes and have more of a life. And these are people doing 100 deals a year, like whatever. And they just feel like they're on this hamster wheel and they can't get off. And I know I'm talking about problems that you guys don't have, but it was just an eye-opening conversation for me, and I thought I'd share it with you guys. But anyway,
is AJ the guy that you were telling me that started as a realtor, got this huge area, and then now this area of his downline does like 75 million a year, or is this a different guy?
Yeah. So he was one of the first. I mean, he got into EXP. EXP just exceeded 40,000 agents. Okay, he got into EXP when it was about 2,500 agents worldwide. Okay, so he was very early, and he left a Keller Williams office where he was the productivity coach. He built it. He had built a team that was doing about $25 million in volume a year. And then he went to EXP and he brought over the #1 luxury brand in Lake Norman, Charlotte area. And not only that, but like, for instance, Melissa, you know Brian Casella, right?
Yes, he's actually my sponsor.
He's your sponsor. So AJ sponsored Brian Casella. AJ's my sponsor. So AJ has, I think he has over 2,000 agents in his EXP downline now. He lives in Puerto Rico. Yeah. And he's just an awesome dude. He just had his first kid a couple months ago. So he's a good guy. So he's going to join us in January, but
Do
yeah,
we know when in January?
He's going to join us to talk about EXP revenue share in January.
Oh,
join
but
our,
you don't know exactly what date, right?
we didn't commit to it, but we talked about the second Tuesday in January.
Oh, okay.
So I'll let you guys know. So,
But to me, it seems with the way EXP is built, I would think that should be the ultimate goal in a predetermined time period. Like you already have your business built.
right.
Like you already have 16 homes coming in a year on referrals, which will probably only continue to grow just based off that alone. I would think moving into the revenue share on your behalf would be a smart play because, like you said, that's what's getting these guys that financial freedom.
Right.
And I don't know if necessarily saying that we're out there making you money, which technically we are, but you're investing us, and that's to each its own. But I would think that'd be the goal.
I'm out there making AJ money. But you know
Exactly.
what? He pours into me. He just spent an hour on the phone with me. He charges for coaching. He, so yeah, I hear you.
That seems like a good thing to get into because if I were you, I would definitely be doing that. But I would like to get his viewpoint on, like, how are we going to sell EXP if we haven't made any money off of EXP yet, or made money for EXP yet?
Sure. And I know he has an answer, and because he lives this and breathes this. But I will tell you, Nick, if you want to plug into this world, he will give you the opportunities to do it, and he will the same, he'll have an answer for you. It's really just about, it's not about you, it's about getting the model in front of the right people that want that freedom, that have a single revenue share stream, or have a single revenue stream. And that means when I drive in my car on a Saturday at 4:00 and I show homes, and then I get out of my car and I open doors, and then I write contracts, and then I negotiate, and it's stressful. Then I have to do an inspection, and then I have to do all this shit, right? And I know you're the wrong audience for this, because you guys are like, God, that sounds like a freaking dream to me right now. But agents get worn out, right? But they're on this hamster wheel. They have other people dependent on them. They have teams, they have expenses, they have expectations. And so the only time they're making money is when they're in front of clients. And what AJ said to me, he's like, you need to continue to work on this revenue share. And he said, you need to then, in a year, turn off all your damn marketing. And the only time you ever show a house is when somebody calls you, right? Sell less homes. That's what he said. He's like, don't you want to spend more time with your family? Don't you want to travel more? I said, yeah, of course. Stupid coronavirus. But so that was his message, right? Like, sell less homes, only sell to the people that you know, only sell when you get a phone call from, keep your mailers on and stay in touch with people. Absolutely. But stop selling to strangers. Stop it.
I have a question, Doug. It's a little bit off. I know that you mentioned something about the VA because I jumped in the call a little bit late. I was considering getting a certification, the MRP. I don't know if you ever heard of it, for the military. Is that, okay. Do you think that would be effective in a way?
Okay, so when we were talking about VA, it's actually a different acronym. We're talking about virtual assistant. So a Filipino virtual assistant. It's okay. You wouldn't have known it. I mean, you jumped in when we were talking about it, but but to answer your question, no.
No, it's not effective. You would not even bother.
What would be the purpose of getting that for you?
Well, because people in the military, when they transfer to, MacDill Air Force Base, they're not very familiar with Tampa. So I don't know, maybe like get more prospect when they see, she deals with family in the military.
Okay.
I mean, that was just my logic to it. I don't know.
Okay. So you're going to get this 4-letter acronym after your name once you complete this class, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where's that going to go?
Well, I don't know yet.
The acronym. Where's it going to go?
It's just gonna show, I don't know, and making it look like, okay, well, she's a specialist in, dealing with houses with military. I guess is more to attract military families. No,
How are you doing that though?
I don't know.
Are you going to run ads?
Well, yeah, eventually I will.
Yeah.
And
So
just put
let me
my name out
let me
there.
ask you another question.
Uh-huh.
You have a skill that nobody else on this call has. What is
My
that skill?
Spanish speaking ability.
Yeah.
So you're saying that I should do videos in Spanish? Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is getting the you asked me a question about the certification.
Okay.
Getting the certification will not give you what you want. Putting into action the things that you already have without going through that education and all that stuff will give you what you want.
Okay.
That's what I would say. I'm not saying nobody should do that. I know you a little bit, and I think doing more things that I don't think it's going to have the desired effect.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I think.
I just wanted your input.
Yeah.
So Doug, with the revenue share, are you talking about trying to get more, like us sponsoring more people underneath of us?
I would absolutely love that. Yes.
Right.
I mean,
Is that what he's kind of talking about when you're talking about AJ? Like that's kind of like
Yeah.
the end goal. Sounds like a good goal. I
oh, it
like
absolutely is a good goal. It
Mhm.
absolutely is a
goal.
good goal. Yeah.
I watched one of his videos and it said like the top 10% of the earners like don't even sell real estate anymore. That's all they focus on.
He doesn't.
And well, not just him. I'm like the top 10% of all of EXP.
Yeah.
Unless I don't even know if Ricky's really even selling houses anymore, but it's
Oh,
all
really?
revenue share.
Ricky hasn't been in EXP that long though, but I'm sure he has a great downline because has a great influence.
He has
But
Facebook threads and all that stuff, and that's the goal. I'd like learning more about that too, because with
okay.
my personality and my, I don't know, willingness is the right word, but putting myself out there, it's like almost selling a product versus selling myself. And EXP is a great product, and not a whole lot of people know about it. And
Right.
as realtors working for brokerages where they're paying this asinine amount of money and not taking it home, the EXP gives you the opportunity to do that. And
Right.
it's like selling a mutual fund. Like I could talk your ear off all day about investment stuff like that. And this seems something
Right.
that I would adapt to a little bit better.
Right.
Just,
Well, it sounds
where
like
to start kind
yeah.
of.
It sounds like I need to get you and at least plugged in his groups more because of course I'm going to lead with sales. You guys need to do sales, and that's why we're here and all that stuff. Of course, absolutely. And so I'm glad we're talking about this because you also, but you're right. You're right, Nick. This is not about you, right? This is about them. Now I believe, sometimes who's giving the message can get you in the door, but really AJ's method is this. There's a video. Maybe, I don't know if some of you guys have seen it or not, but it goes through the model. It's Brent Gove, who's in AJ's upline and you're in our upline and all that stuff, all of our upline. So Brent goes through the model. It's very good video. And so AJ's plan is get people to watch the webinar and then follow up with them, and then get them on a 3-way call with me, prospect, AJ. And then that's it. That's all you have to do.
You have to, so since we're technically in his downline,
Mhm.
because I don't know if will he work with people not in his? That's kind of a off the
Everyone
wall
here is
question.
in his downline because Melissa is in Brian Casella's downline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just curious
I mean,
because I've gotten a call
Not really.
from 2 EXP people wanting me to join their team, and then once I told them that I already have a sponsor, like the whole
Yeah.
entire mood of the conversation just
of course.
like, oh well,
Right.
I'll call you back in like a month and see how you're doing. I was like,
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Okay. So, but to answer your question, AJ's not going to spend a lot of time on people that are not going to be in his downline, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Why would he?
It makes sense
Yeah,
because
he's
that's
taking
seems
time
like
away
that's the
from his
rap
family.
EXP
He
gets.
has limited amount of business time. He wants to help us. Like, he doesn't know you personally, Nick. He doesn't know you personally, Laura, Melissa. But if you got excited about building a revenue share downline, he will get just as excited with you. You will have a way to contact him. You will, like, if you set up three-way calls, he will do them. You know, it doesn't have to be me. It's not me. It's him. This is his full-time job, is supporting the 4 of us and all the other people, supporting us so that we can have the same freedoms, some of the same freedoms that he has. Like, listening to him, I asked him today, the dude's making an ungodly amount of money. He's talking about generational wealth and all this stuff. And I said, what keeps you going, man? What's next for you? Now, he just had his kid and he's taken some time off, and that's cool. But he basically said that, you know, between me and, you know, these other people that are kind of in his first line that he's really helping, Debbie, Chris, William, like these people that are kind of just like me and have some success doing this, is he wants to take us to the next level. That's why he gets out of bed in the morning. That's why he does what he does. So.
Well, I received a message through the messenger trying to recruit me, somebody from EXP.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, did they not see that it says EXP?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some of it makes you kind of cringe a little bit because we are rewarded at such a high level for bringing on productive agents, that there are some very inauthentic ways that people are using that to get in front of agents and have conversations with them, and that's just going to happen. So we didn't invent this model. We're just, I'm sorry.
A lot of people that I've talked to that are realtors from different brokerages, the ones that are anti-EXP, that's the first thing that comes out of your mouth is, oh, they're all just recruiters.
They're all just recruiters,
like,
right?
So just like everybody, how'd you get to Keller Williams? It's kind of the same thing.
Right.
But this model gives you opportunity to do it and get rewarded at a much better rate than the others. Right.
And you know, you can't focus on those people, and you know, the truth is not many people are very good at having those conversations. And so how you present it, if you go after it, if you talk to people and the only thing you care about is what's in it for you, they're gonna know that, right? It's gonna come across. But you know, Laura, I'll ask you a question. Do you think Ryan's investing you just because of the money?
No, I think that she's told me a little bit about herself. She said she had hit the 7-year itch a little bit ago, as you were saying, that sometimes it becomes grueling on you and you're kind of like, all right, like, what, you know, why do I want to keep going? I think I would alleviate some of her stress, as the hamster wheel analogy that you were saying, and I'd kind of, you know, give her some space and some time and some freedom, and give me the opportunity to succeed and learn and she is my friend too, so that's
Yeah.
helpful. But we went to, you know, a little, what was it called? We went to, gosh, what is it called? The Brandon, I don't know, something where we had like a food truck with drinks and a raffle, and we got to meet some agents, and she's like, it's her first time going out, and she invited me to go with her, and we went, and it was wonderful. I was like, this is amazing. Like,
Cool.
I
Good.
really think she genuinely wants to help me do better, and it's not about making money, but on the side note, it'll definitely help her alleviate
Yeah.
some stress,
Right.
but helping me at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
That's the benefit that needs to be getting pitched, because Doug, you could be only focusing on getting us to sign your sponsor, and you could kick us to the curb if you want to, because you can't change that, but you're still taking a minimum of 1 hour a week to teach us stuff. And I'm sure you're talking to everybody one-on-one, answering all of our questions. And that's what a good mentor and a good sponsor is, because we're not just becoming a cog in your wheel.
Right.
That makes sense.
Well, I appreciate that. No, I shared this a little bit last week, and I really do enjoy it. And I was kind of relating it back to when I ran internship programs at resorts. You know, I had internship programs. I like that. I like that you guys are hungry. And then at some point, you're going to all be doing a bunch of transactions a year, and you're not going to want to listen to me anymore. So that's fine too. But until then, it's kind of fun to work on it together and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of neat. So yeah, well, cool. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm always inspired when I talk to AJ. It's been too long. You guys, you know, like I said, we'll get him on the call, and then you guys will get what you need, and then he'll go through that, and I'll let him know that how excited you guys are about this, so that, excuse me, I got a burp in there. You know, so that but he'll kind of do a little bit. He'll share with you and show you, and kind of what you want to do and how to do it and all that stuff. And I just think, you know, and I've told this to Adriana too. You know, she's a success story. Like, she came from a different brokerage and is doing really well right now, and getting her transactions done and working with buyers and all that stuff. So there's a story there. You know, it does not all have to be top producing agents like AJ's talking to. She should be talking to people maybe that are struggling to launch their career at a different brokerage, right? So yeah. I talked to a guy, I told you EXP asked me to take on mentees all the time. I got one this week, and I called the dude. In short, he is not going to add anything to our group, so I did not take him on. I just don't. He's like this 60-year-old guy, and he's an appraiser, and he just, I don't know. I'm just nothing. I got nothing. So sorry, I feel bad. I can't just take on everybody though. So.
Hey, Doug, how often do you talk to AJ?
I mean, at least quarterly.
Oh, okay.
Not enough, but yeah, I mean, you know, if you guys want to be in accountability groups, or if you want to do your own together, AJ has it. He's going to relaunch his accountability group in January, and he might. Yeah. But if we want to start our own and talk about, you know, what we're struggling with and all that stuff, and what we're doing, you know, he told me, he's like, Doug, just talk to 2 agents a week. That's it. That's all you got to do. Talk to 2 agents a week. And anyway, it's all good. Enough about me. So what do you guys, I had these lead sources that I kind of wrote down. Do you guys want to talk about this? You want to talk about something else?
The lead sources?
Lead sources.
Let me see. Yeah, sure.
Where's your database and how are you feeding it? Does anybody feel confident about their answer to that question that I have posed and made the background of our mentorship? Anybody feel really good about where they're at with that? Where's your database and how are you feeding it?
Crickets.
Sorry, I keep going back to screen share. Okay. I didn't mean to do that actually that time. So I don't really want to talk about for sale by owners, but I wrote them down because they're a lead source. And here's why.
They're mean. They're mean.
Yep, they're mean, whatever. I just think, first of all, I'm not an expert on FSBOs. Let's go back to Doug's business sourced, and we've got 2 in 2015, 1 in 2016, and 0. So there's my success rate with FSBOs, a total of 3. And a lot of that's due to interest. Okay, I'm not interested in it, and I'm not saying other agents don't have a great job doing it. It's like a whole thing. It's like a whole, like I couldn't coach you here in an hour on how to convert a FSBO. Like I have my ideas about them, but I don't have the scripts. I don't have the patience for them. Like my advice to you is if you want these is build a spreadsheet of all the FSBOs as they come on the market, call them every Wednesday, add value to them, go visit them, go to their open houses. At some point, if you have a decent little relationship with them, offer to do an open house for them, offer them a seller's property disclosure, offer them an introduction to your title company, like be Helpy McHelperson along the way. And then at some point, if they get frustrated enough, you're the one that's there that did more than just a phone call. That's all the advice I got for sale by owners.
Would you say that they generally seem to be kind of more cheap, where they're just, you know, that, and so because of that, they're just terrible to work with because they're super, super cheap.
This is how they're different than expired canceleds, right? Expired canceleds have already decided to pay a commission and hire a broker. They've already decided that. Okay, so I just have to convince them that we're not all the same. I won't let you down like your last guy. I'm different. Look at what I can do. And then we can come to an agreement. For sale by owner, you have to convince them that selling on their own is a bad idea, right? Or let them go through that on their own and then be there to catch them. That's the difference, okay?
Kind of a hard market to go against it right now.
They're having success. They're having success. Now, will they hire you to buy their next home? Maybe. I don't know. Once again, they don't trust agents. They don't like agents. They don't want to pay anybody. I don't know. You're just going to have to build the relationship with them. That would be my secondary, my secondary goal if I was reaching out to them is even if I don't, you don't hire me to sell your house, my services are free to you when you buy your next property, right? Okay. So great.
They're just a little harder to convince, and you have to have like the gift of gab because, yeah, they're always trying to negotiate your commission, or they always give you some type of objection. Oh, well, I have a family member that they're a realtor.
Sure.
XYZ. They're just.
And they do have a family member, and what's that tell you about them that they won't even list their house with their family member?
Yeah, and that's the question that I've asked. I'm like, well, if you have a family member, why not use them? Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to save money on my commission, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, right.
Irritating.
So, yeah. And then, expired, canceled. They were on the market previously. They expired or canceled off the market. there is something, there's something that happened. Usually it's price, but sometimes, a lot of times they're crazy. A lot of times they're hard to work with. I say crazy really loosely. I just mean like, they're not like these pillars of the community, right? It's not like they have all these friends and all the, you're like, most people, a lot of people get referrals. So when you work with expireds and canceleds, you're getting people that don't really have a business influence circle that has recommended them a realtor to work with, if that makes sense.
And they're
So
coming off a horrible experience.
they're coming off a horrible experience. They think everyone's the same, all that stuff. But so my strategy, and I do work expireds and canceled, I will continue to work them, is I'm not interested in the guy that just expired, although those aren't horrible. But for the most part, I just want to get your time frame. We're keeping it off the market till spring. My tenant signed another year lease. My tenant's there for 2 more years. Those are all the things that I'm like, ding, 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 ding. Yes, I just got a time frame. 1 year lease, great. Like, are you definitely selling? Then I got to decide what to do with it. I'm going to follow up with you in 6 months, 10 months. And after 10 months, I'm going to call you every 2 weeks. And, just stay on them and then help them, and a lot of times you're getting out of state sellers, unintentional landlords, things like that. So I love those ones. I love it when I never meet my sellers. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. So, circle prospecting, Nick, you know a little bit about circle prospecting. I don't think you've done any of it, but what do you know about circle prospecting?
Like after you talk to somebody, set a next date and time and go back and readdress them.
Yeah. Okay. So circle prospecting is basically opening up a phone book of a neighborhood or any zip code or neighborhood or whatever that you choose, and you're just blowing through it as quickly as possible. And the good thing about circle prospecting is that when you find a buyer or a seller, when you find somebody, since you've had to prospect, like truly prospect them, right? Where's prospect come from, right? I'm digging for gold, right? That means I had to go through huge mounds of dirt to find a little piece of gold, okay? So you prospected this one seller who said, no, we're not selling our house. We're thinking about selling our house in the spring. You say, it's a freaking emergency. Okay, so you prospected this person, and hopefully they don't have any other relationships and they're open to working with you and you're not competing. It's not like expireds who other people have the same data I have. For sale by owners typically publish their phone numbers because how else are you going to get to know them? So circle prospecting can really work but you're going to have to get through a lot of data. And you're essentially building your own community. Okay, if you can get email addresses and drip on them, this is kind of the Ricky Carruth system. If you can get email addresses and drip on them with a value added, letter, statistical marketing letter, email letter, essentially. If you can do that and you can build an email database and wait for those people to either have a referral or sell their house or buy a house or whatever, you could really build your own database that's not being competed with other realtors. Okay. And so you just got to pick your pain point, right? FSBOs, it's you have to defend your commission, but the phone numbers and the addresses and the data is easy to find, right? It's free, it's out there. Okay, expired and canceled have already agreed to work with a realtor, although they don't currently have a contract, but they're getting pounded and hounded by a bunch of other realtors who want the business as well. Okay, so they're exhausted by the number of phone calls that they're getting. Circle prospecting, they're getting almost no phone calls, and so if you get one on the phone, It's yours and yours alone. It's just that the conversion rate is low because they did not raise their hand and say, I want to sell my house. They didn't say that. So you're calling them and saying, hey, do you have a real estate need? Do you have a question? I'm here for you. Okay. So those are really kind of the phone call kind of things. Now you can dig deeper into that. You can call just absentee owner lists. You can call just people who have been in their homes for 5 years. You can only call people with, I mean, there are filters out there. There's data producers out there that, providers out there that will tell you if they have 100% equity or 75% equity, right? Mortgages are public data. And so these companies are just these data providers are just looking at historical data and doing a 30-year amortization and just saying, okay, do they have about 75% equity? Whoa, that's a person that has equity in their house, right? So, and now almost everybody has equity right now because of the market. So does that make sense? So that's really, and this is where I think if you have more time than you do money, I truly believe, and you don't have a unique skill set, and you don't have a niche, and you don't, if that's where you're at right now, you probably should be leveraging the thing you have the most of, which is your time, and you should be focusing on one of those things: for sale by owners, expired's canceled, or circle prospecting. That's my guess. That's just what I think. That's what I did. I chose expired and canceled. Use what you got. So I'm making some assumptions. You don't have an unlimited budget. You have more time than you do money, and you don't have necessarily a big circle of friends. I mean, you're going to work your friends and family anyway, but what do you do when you punch in at your job? Your job is lead generation. What are you doing on a daily basis that's going to move your business forward and build your database? I think one of those three things should be your focus. It shouldn't be all three things, but it should be one of them. Circle of influence and past client referral. Not really something you guys have right now. Unless you want to have a mindset shift around this, right? And you say to yourself, Laura, my hairdresser is my past client. She is my client, and I will treat her as such. I will send her a Starbucks gift card. I will find her address on Hillsborough County records and mail to her house. I will talk shop with her when I get my hair done. I will send her referrals. Guess who gets referrals from hairdressers? People who referred their friends to hairdressers do. You know how thankful she'll be if she books an appointment with one of your friends because you referred it, and then you followed up with her, and then you said, hey, Mary said you did a great job, thank you so much. And then she's getting stuff from you, and she wants to reciprocate that to you. Okay, so you don't have past clients unless you start treating those people in your world like your past clients, right? And appreciating them and sending them referrals and dripping on them and making sure they know who you are. Okay. Social media. Again, I'm not an expert in this. I'm not an expert in the sense that I wouldn't know if I had to start my business over, I couldn't do 10 freaking transactions next year off of social media. I don't know how to do it. I guess you spend money. I guess you do videos. You have to use tags, things like that. Not my cup of tea. We do social media. I feel like it's important because my past clients and my future clients want to see that we have a presence. So we do post stuff on my business page, on my personal page, so anyway. Anybody I don't have much to add about these things, but you guys chime in. I know everybody wants to get in and then use social media. Now, I will say this, as much as I just kind of hated on I'm not hating on social media. It's not my thing, but I will say this, Nick, you've had a little bit of luck with social media. You had an appointment with a potential buyer, and you have a potential referral. Is that true?
So the only hits I've actually gotten have been off social media. One was when I created the business page. Everybody saw it because I pretty much sent everybody hey, like my business page. So I got one from that. Another one of my friends saw that she was interested in learning more about the VA loan. And then, so I got that one, and I've had a meeting with her. She decided to push it back till after next year, but to each his own. And then one of my buddies shared one of my posts, and that guy just called me randomly. He's like, yeah, I was just going through Facebook, and I don't even know who shared it. I just saw that you're a realtor and you work with veterans. So I just screenshotted it, and then he had called me. But he's in Ocala. So 2 of the 3 were referral based, but
gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
Did
you find him a referral already?
Yeah, I found him. I learned my lesson from the other one and just sent one and was fully disclosed about the whole 25% thing. And then that was last week. So I was going to wait till after Christmas to see if he talked to her yet, and then go from there.
Cool. Good job. So, I might be a little bit low on social media. I would do it. Absolutely. I just, like I said, I'm not an expert on how to, I couldn't coach you on how to get 10 transactions from social media next year. It just not my thing. Online leads, Facebook, website, Google AdWords, Make It Rain. Make It Rain is EXP's managed Google AdWords account through KV Core. So it's just EXP stuff. They all work. It's all about how you work them. You guys have already seen my stats on converting internet leads. So why would you listen to me? I wouldn't listen to me. I'm not my thing, it's expensive. You have to be invested in it. I mean, and I think one of the things I really struggle with is like, one of the reasons expired and withdrawn worked for me, expired and canceled worked for me, is because as a creature of habit, I got into the office at 8 a.m. every day and I started hitting the phones. And then that created listing appointments and signs in yards and all that stuff, right? When you're advertising online, when are people looking at your website? When are you getting these dings on your phone, right? Hey, so-and-so's viewing this property. So-and-so just texted you. After 7 p.m. on the weekends, holidays, those are times when I don't really want to respond to people. So I think that's one of my deficits as well. So in any case, that's probably why me and online leads, we only just dated and we never got engaged. We never got married, Me and expireds had a nice long relationship. We still got a little side piece going on, but we're working on some other things. We're seeing other people. I'm seeing referrals right now, very heavily. Me and referrals are very heavily involved. All right. Your neighborhood. You guys don't think I'm funny, do you?
Hilarious.
I thought it was funny.
I was muted.
Thanks, Laura. Okay, your neighborhood. Absolutely. I will tell you, when I moved into my neighborhood in Twin Lakes, I had owned one home before, and I kind of I thought about I'm not farming it, right? So obviously I didn't start farming it right away. I kind of felt like a fraud. I kind of felt like, oh, there's a lot of nice houses in here, a lot of professionals, they're not going to want to work with me. There's other agents that live in here. And now that my kids are in school and we know a lot of people and we've been active on the, a bit in the community and HOA, I'm just like everybody else. I should be the, their realtor of choice. And so it's all about how you do it. Look for opportunities to sponsor things, be a source of information, and make sure people know, right? Don't be a secret agent. Don't be a secret agent. Make sure people know in your neighborhood that you're a realtor, because you cannot determine when they will have a real estate emergency or a real estate need or a real estate question. You cannot determine that. It will probably be when you least expect it or when you least want it, right? You'll probably go on vacation and your neighbor will call and leave you a voicemail message when your phone's off and say, hey, I need to sell my house. That's probably how it will happen. You cannot determine the when. But if they don't even know that you're an agent, then, well, bad on you, right? It's not their fault, it's your fault. So that's all I'm saying about, your neighborhood. There's tons of opportunity, how much and what you want to do to invest in it. I love that Nick is sending out 40 Christmas cards, right, Nick?
45.
45. Wait, Nick, you're sending out 45 Christmas cards to your apartment building?
No. To a house, to the neighborhood that I'm moving into.
Wait, so you don't even live there, Nick?
No.
How
That's
dare
not what
you?
Am I cool to send those out now, even though I don't live there yet?
Are you going to close on the house?
Everything, as of now, yeah. We just passed the inspection period and that all checked out.
Okay. So, and your loan's fine, right?
Yeah.
Is there any reason to think the appraisal's not going to come in?
From a realtor I spoke to on the first house that we offered on, said that as of late, VA loans or VA appraisals have been coming in a little bit low. But this guy's
don't know
really
shit.
well, I found it weird
different.
that she told me that, because I was the first one to submit an offer, and she's like, well, they want to keep it for highest and best but the loan, his house probably want to pay for $300,000, so I don't really know why they're asking that. And I just found that kind of an odd thing that she would tell me.
I mean,
anyhow,
this
guy wants to sell the house, I know. So if it comes in like $5,000 light, I'm not going to put another cent into it, but I'm pretty sure he would.
Okay.
$10,000 might be a different story.
So here, let's get back to your question. What's the worst that could happen if you send out these cards and for some reason you can't buy your house? Oh no, 45 people got your name and business card.
Should I not have a return address on the corner?
So it's a little bit tough. If you want to use my business address, I don't have a problem with that. I can give it to you. I wouldn't want to put an apartment building.
Well, I thought about putting the address of where I'll be moving into, so that one, it gives them an idea of where I'm going to be living. Because I said I just moved into the community, like in the handwritten portion of the card.
I know, but the house.
Now I understand why nobody fucking wants to do that.
What's that?
So now I understand why nobody does that. Because I didn't even write that much. And like that much writing. And after like 4 of them, on like 10 different, I was like, F this. Anyhow, but whatever.
Yeah. No. That's a lot. I
wrote kind of big though.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. I thought about ripping off the return address and just kind of sending it. And then by the 11th, they'll know who we are. Because then I thought about sending out something else, like having like a big ass barbecue for the neighborhood type thing. And then.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I can put a return address.
I mean, I think you should. It's just kind of weird because they know the house isn't, like, you're not living. I don't know, whatever. I guess I'd use the house that's there. Why not?
No.
I mean, nobody's living in the house, so it's not like they're going to get your return mail, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about 1 or 2 pieces, so.
I guess this is like a pre-step in farming, technically.
I'm sorry. It's what?
This is like a first step in farming my general area, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're saying, Mary, yeah. You don't have to write that much.
It's really not that much. I get impatient. That's why it pisses me off. And I don't write legible. Well,
Yeah.
the first 4 I probably had to throw away.
Okay.
But
Hey, but you have a spreadsheet of the addresses, right?
addresses, phone numbers, and email.
Are you handwriting the addresses?
No, I was able to transfer
Mail
that
merge.
over to a sticker thing.
Okay, mail merge. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, you'll figure out a better way to do it next time. Maybe you just handwrite these ones, but
Shows I care.
it does. It does. Good job.
So the postcard that you're sending, is that just an introduction of yourself?
Yeah, basically just says that we're new to the community. Our names are Nick and Kayla, and we have a lad named Lucy. I said that she works in property management, and I'm a realtor. And we look forward to calling this neighborhood home as we start our family. Hope to meet you all soon. Have a happy holiday season. And that's it.
You got that memorized, dude. It's quite a bit, but good on you. Good on you.
For a guy who doesn't like talk to people, I sure don't mind writing a lot down.
It's all good. I think that's really nice. And now, make sure those 45, they got their first drip. Make sure, you're gonna figure out your next thing in the next 2 to 3 months, right? You got to stay. It's all a waste if you go a year without touching that database again, right? This is a database.
Yeah.
So you have an answer to the question because you have 45 names of people that are going to be your neighbors that you're starting to communicate with. This is a database.
And 11 of them are renters.
Cool.
So
awesome.
Like when we talked about that, they should arguably getting more attention than the other ones, because once their lease ends, hopefully they'll think of me.
That's right. That is fantastic. I mean, maybe those 11. I mean, when do most lease ends? Most leases end. Most sellers would like their leases. Most landlords would like their leases to begin and end around June. Okay.
End of school, right? Or
yeah.
The beginning of school.
Exactly. It's easy to put a new tenant in there. So maybe those 11 get a very special buying your next home packet from Nick, a folder, tips, how much money do I need, or something, just something. I don't know. Hey, at the Walden Lake Clubhouse, I'm going to be doing a first time home buyer seminar. I don't know. You'd want to have a few people come to that. You could actually invite them. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I would treat them a little bit differently. They're not sellers. They will be potential buyers for you.
Yeah.
Your community, gym, shopping, park, kids' school. Let me give you 2 examples that are relevant to me this week. In the first example, I brought my kids to the park. They were playing. There's a mom. We kind of knew each other because she asked if we were going trick-or-treating for Halloween. And so we started talking and all this stuff. And then, obviously, real estate always comes up because people are nice and they ask you what you do. I sent her nice to meet you note card. And then she went on my drip. We talked about how fast the cars are going down the street where she lives, and she's kind of on a curve. So I'm like, and I asked her, I was like, do you have one of the, I call it a slow poke. Do you have one of those slow poke guys with the flag? She's like, no, we never got one. So like, do I just go buy her one and leave it on her, leave it on her doorstep? Or is that like kind of creepy? And it cost me money. So anyway, and then my second example was, and I'm gonna do this, I just haven't done it yet. When I did a 1-year follow-up for my shoulder, I had surgery on my shoulder. And in the hallway, I could hear my doctor talking to his staff. He's a Buffalo Bills fan. And then he was, for some reason, he was talking about Rumplemints, and how he loves Rumplemints. So, and then I asked him about when he came in, I was like, Rumplemints, huh? And he's like, oh yeah, great game last night and all this stuff, right? So I'm going to get a bottle of Rumplemints. I'm going to write a little Merry Christmas business card. Thank you so much for getting me back to 100%. If I can do anything for you in the future, please let me know. So we'll see. So I'm going to do that. So those are things I listen for, people who know me already, and hopefully people I can help. So we'll see. And then groups is my last one, adult sports leagues. And then I ran out of time when I jumped on the call. So. All right, you guys can't do everything, but let's wrap up. If you guys were going to focus on one of these things, each one of you kind of come up with some, like, what are you most interested in, and what would you do? Where would you start?
Expired.
Okay.
I'm like you. I hate social media. I don't even know how to work my damn Instagram. So my wife does a lot of that, and I'm not real big on it. Like, I had a plan that I was going to spend 2 hours a day putting ads and like making my own shit, but I haven't really got around to it. And then the community, we go to a ultimate frisbee group on Sundays, and the lady that puts it on is in her class right now for real estate license. So I always ask her how she's doing on that.
Good.
When she gets a little bit closer, she knows I work for EXP because I have a some business cards hanging up there, and they have like a little cork board, and I have a little tiny ad thing that has my picture on it. And then hopefully we could get her to join EXP. And then there's a few, the group hasn't been as consistent because of the holidays. So
Yeah.
once probably the end of the year, we'll probably continue to go there because they get about 12, 13 people, or 12 to 16 people on any given weekend. And I didn't want to, we've only been twice, and I didn't want to just shove it down everybody's throat. So I kind of just getting to know people, and
Yeah.
and then
No, it's all good. What I was thinking about is, like, what if you brought like a cooler of water, and each bottle of water had like your business card on it, and you just had like, you just let everybody have water.
yeah, that's a good idea. We the next one we go to, we might make a little goodie bag type thing.
Yeah.
Because my wife likes to bake, and then I'll have my business card in there, and then kind of just leave that at that, and then they'll know. And then
do the goodie bag. 2 weeks later, do the water. Like, it's all good. You don't have to cram it down people's throat. People will have questions. They will start asking you about yourself. You ask them about their business. They ask you about your business. It's all good. It takes a little bit of time.
Yeah. So
good job. Awesome. All right.
Even though we're moving, I'll probably still stick with it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Melissa.
Oh, no, I said, I did something like that for an open house. I did like water bottles, and I put my my business card, and
Perfect.
I actually did I put popcorn in a little bag, and I tied my business card, and I just put, thanks for popping in.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought it was
very
pretty
cool.
Yeah.
Over.
All right. Melissa, is there any of the lead sources that we talked about today or anything that we talked about today that you think is actionable in your business?
At this point, I think I'm just gonna be a walking billboard.
Nice.
I'm just gonna get like EXP t-shirts or polo shirts, and also anything that says that I'm a realtor, anything relating to real estate. So when I go to the stores or anything like that, they see, you know, what I do. And maybe just, I don't know, I know that a while back, I left my EXP badge on, and, you know, when I was at the store, they were asking me questions and all that good stuff. So I think I might just, you know, again, be a walking billboard.
I
Nice.
saw a lady on Etsy that was selling masks that had EXP Realty on it.
Nice.
I thought about buying one and wearing it in the gym.
There you go.
They had some nice hats on there too.
You said
That's
walking
cool.
billboard. I so badly want to get my car wrapped. I really do. I'm not close to like mentally doing that for a few different reasons, but I think there's a ton of value in that. That is a driving billboard. I do have an office on Oakfield Drive, like people would see it. So maybe one of these days you'll see my cars all wrapped. And yeah, it's pretty cool.
I was thinking of getting a magnet for the car, but I don't know. Do you think that looks tacky?
I don't know. I don't think it looks tacky. I mean, if I'm going to do it, I want to do it all the way for me. The good thing about a magnet is you can take it off.
Yeah.
You know? But the wrapping complements the farming. So now I'm mailing to your, let's see, I'm mailing your house once a month. I have a banner at the school. I sponsor everything the school does. I sponsor the Santa event in the park. And now you see my car driving through the neighborhood that has my brand on it too. It's just one more piece of embedded marketing and branding to the people that I want to do business with the most. All right, Laura.
Okay, so like would Boomtown be like the online leads? Yeah, I want to give it a shot. I'm also on the side, also looking at trying the expireds, but I feel like with Ryan being like my wingman, you know, that she can kind of help me out. And for me, it's not about like how much money can I make like immediately. I want to learn the concepts correctly. And even if I'm not banking, if I can learn the steps of what to do correctly, that's more valuable to me, and that can take me where I need to go long term. Well, I'm excited about that. I'm gonna check it out.
Right. And I mean, that's a good point. I like that you said that, Laura. Like, you don't have this, you know, you're working online leads and all that stuff, but sometimes it makes sense not to force it, right? Now, again, everybody has different financial goals and immediacy in their lives, and whatever yours is yours. But like, maybe one of these things that, you know, we just went through, maybe it didn't stand out to you right away. But maybe it's the first time or second time or third time you've heard about it. And the fourth time and the fifth time you hear about it, now it's going to start making sense. And it not only makes sense, but like, you're gonna, you know, you're gonna kind of see it, and you're gonna say, well, this was for me. Doug said this, then I took a class, and then I think I can apply it this way. And it doesn't have to be right now. You don't have to just force yourself into a decision, but let something come to you that makes a lot of sense. And then, you know, don't do all these things. Do not do all these things. Pick one thing or two things and do it till you perfect it, and then do the next thing. So.
Yes, I like the idea that, you know, if I give this a shot for, you know, a couple months and then I find out, you know what, it's not really what I thought it would be and it's not really working for me, then okay, I can move on to another thing on the list and give that a shot. For me, I just want to find out what will be best for me. And it's going to take time, like you said, but I like also walking my dog around the neighborhood, and I do have the gift of gab, and I will talk to anyone. And I did kiss the Blarney Stone, and my mom kissed it when she was pregnant with me. So I got it. I'll talk to anybody. So my husband, they could be putting their lights up, and I'm like, I love your lights, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm fearless in that way. So that could work for me too. So
Good.
I'm just gonna figure it out.
No, I love that. I love that. And now you just need to move it into, you know, you're already naturally friendly and you engage people. Awesome. How do you move that into they know you're a realtor, and you know, because
Right.
it'll spread like wildfire once you keep doing that. But
And you're right. It could even be something like I found somebody and I said something nice about their Christmas lights. And then I mentioned that I'm a real estate agent. And then they could be talking to their neighbor and they're like, have you met Laura, the girl that walks the dog all the time? You know?
right.
And you're right. It could spread just in any way.
Right, right. And the only thing I'd say is for me, like if that was me, I would hopefully, I might not talk to them, but you will, all right? So like hopefully I'll talk to them and all that stuff, but then I'm gonna make sure they get a note card that says it was nice to meet you with a magnet business card, right? And then they're probably, depending on the relationship, but they're probably going to be on my 1 month drip. So not only do they say, have you met Laura, but they're getting these little reminders every single month. And now they see your face once a month. And now you're not just Laura, the neighbor anymore. You're Laura, the realtor, who's pretty consistent at getting her marketing out there. And she wants the business and she's nice and she has a cute dog. And like you start to grow, you're more than just, you're just the business face, right? So it's kind of neat. Okay.
Sweet. Yep.
All right. That was an hour and a half. I'm out.
All right, bye.
All right.
Let me know if you need me.